you get to a place, you have an opportunity to get to a place to say, okay, what will I do next? What can I do next? What's possible? I can pour my energies here about just saying, I don't accept this. This is no way. I can't believe, are you kidding me? I can put all my energies there, but what will that do for me? What will that do to change the outcome of what happens next? And often if you sit back and you think about that, it's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to change anything that happens next other than how I'm feeling, and then how I'm feeling impacts my behaviors and how that impacts other people, including what happens in my life. So I have this opportunity to say, what will I do next? I have a chance to then continue to write my story in the way that I want it. Again, it's easier said than done. This is not by any stretch of the imagination an easy realization to say, okay, well, Mike and Daryl talked about this. Now I should move on to step 2. This is how we do it. It is not going to be that easy, but it does give us an opportunity to say, what else might be possible? What else can I do right now? What else might be there that I may not have ever seen or thought could happen? And those things you did point out. You talked about venturing into golf. You talked about doing some other things, being home with family that you may not have been a part of because you would have been on the road doing other things. These are things what people call silver linings. It's taking this idea of being able to accept where we are. Again, that does not mean that I'm okay with where we are. And people will say, I'm so done with COVID-19. And I would say, you are absolutely right. I feel that. I'm with you 100% behind you. I'm done with COVID-19 also. However, COVID-19 is not done here. So we need to then figure out, what are we going to do next to try to stay together, to figure out what I can do personally to help get myself through this. You were sharing some things there. You also shared something even about the York College basketball team. And if it would have happened earlier, it would have eliminated the ending of a great season. And you're thankful that it didn't do that. So that's also an evidence-based, research will support this in the psychology field. We'll say, if you take a situation and you think about, well, how could it have been worse? And people will sometimes look at you and like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? How could it be worse? Are you seeing what's happening now? How could it be worse? So initially it may not get a warm reception, that you would say that or think that. But actually, if you do that, it can help put things in perspective about just certainly it could be worse in many times. And there are ways to kind of think about that. Well, you just gave an example in your college basketball season. And then the flip side of that, when you think about how could it be worse, is those are silver linings. I am so thankful that I had a chance to be a part of that. And for you, you talked about like being in family, being with family, being able to venture off and do some things with golf, stay connected to something like that you wouldn't have had necessarily an opportunity to do if you were doing other things. Is it a replacement? Is it the same as what you would have wanted? No, but it is a silver lining in what could be the possibilities. For me, it was being able to spend time with my daughter and my wife, and we were able to actually cook dinners and actually sit down at the dinner table. At times we live a life where it's, she's over here, she's doing dance classes, I'm doing, events or things like this, meetings, and our schedules are just run. This gave a chance, life gave a chance to hit pause and say, you're going to have an opportunity, Mike, to try something different. Whether or not I wanted to, I didn't really have a say in that, but I am thankful that I got a chance to be able to sit those days and evenings with my daughter and my wife to have dinner. Movie nights, we didn't have those for a long time for a while, but we had those regularly during particularly the initial parts of the state of emergency. So there've been a lot of losses for each one of us, but sometimes through that, it creates an opportunity to say, how will I move forward? How will I take that next step? Not easy, but it is that idea of acceptance and then moving to meeting or silver linings. So I think it's a great sharing from you, Daryl, and I just wanted to add a few extra things there. But yeah, and it continues now. Where we are now in the pandemic, it is still very stressful right now for all of us in our own unique way. But it's important to remember that there are some things that we can do, and we're sharing some of that right now, and we'll share more as we move along with our conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I mean, again, this is a passion of ours. We could probably do this all day, but we won't. We'll keep it in the nice, neatly packed episodes so people can consume it.
Yep.
But next time, maybe we can open with, you mentioned to me, you had a couple people use the word they've hit the wall with this. And it's there's a burnout factor, an exhaustion factor with everything that's going on. So
Yep.
I think maybe next time we pick it up there, which is very timely to what we're all going through right now. But yeah, Mike, it's again a pleasure as always. This wraps up our third radio episode, and several of those on YouTube, with each segment broken up as a kind of a YouTube podcast, if you will. So hopefully people are enjoying it, and you have yourself a great week. And I can't wait to see what we discuss next time.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, have a great week, everyone. And Daryl, we look forward to the next conversation.
Absolutely.
For more information on WellSpan Philhaven's tips for good mental health, featuring amazing online tools and apps, as well as tips on staying calm during the pandemic, and videos sharing proven tips on self-care and supporting others during the ongoing pandemic, visit wellspanphilhaven.org. For information on WellSpan's Employee Assistance Program, visit wellspaneap.org. If this is an emergency or you are considering harming yourself, please contact Crisis Intervention at 1-800-673-2496. Additional support is available through the National Suicide Lifeline by calling 1-800-273-8255 or by texting TALK to 741-741. These resources are staffed by crisis professionals and are available 24/7. It's always okay to reach out for help. You're not alone.